Okay, amazing. So I am here with Lysandra. We just wrapped up working together for 12 weeks in Be Seen. So I'd love for you to introduce yourself and share with us what was going on with your wardrobe before we met.
Hi, so yeah, I'm Lashandra Edwards, and I work in water technologies. And before I started this engagement with Melanie, what was happening with my wardrobe is just that I getting dressed was something I just had to do. I never really felt great about what I had on. Always often felt self-conscious. It was a dread getting dressed every day.
What were some of the things? 'Cause I remember when we first chatted, you had some big meetings coming up. So I feel like was that kind of like the nail in the coffin,
Oh,
or was it something else?
yeah. So the catalyst was that I mean, gratefully and wonderfully that I'm moving up in my career, but was exposing me to like senior leadership and like our C-suite. And I was just feeling so it was bad enough to feel like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna say to these people? But then I didn't feel great about how I looked going in front of these people. I didn't feel like I had visually didn't feel like I had an executive presence, visually didn't feel like I was fitting into those spaces.
Mhm.
And I had to do something. I was just like, I'm out of so I've done all of the personal development stuff, but my clothes are not matching how I feel.
Yeah, yeah. And it's interesting because I feel like we all do speaking things and had to have like all of the personal development, professional development sort of thing, but this is kind of what ties it all together, which I really love. What do you think are some of your favorite things that you got to experience through doing this work together?
So a couple things stand out right away. First of it was the use of colors. Like my default was black, navy, and gray. And I feel so much happier like wearing colorful things. So it does so much. It does something for my mood. Like I feel better being able to wear colors, and colors was something like I only ever experimented with in my workout clothes. So
Mm.
that was one thing that stood out and excited me about like as I was in the program was just like the use of colors and being able to wear colors into those C-suite meetings and not feel like, oh, I'm gonna stand out or I'm gonna look like a clown or whatever. And then the other thing was, growing up, I went to Catholic school from kindergarten to 8th grade, and I can remember always getting yelled at, "You gotta tuck your shirt, you gotta tuck your shirt." I think I went into some personal rebellion and never got out of it. So I would never tuck my shirt. And that was something that when you told me like just try tucking it in. And I'm like, no, I can't tuck it in like it's meant to be out. And I had like a personal issue with it, but now tucking is my go-to. Like it doesn't feel just right. My first thing I do is like, "Well, I'm gonna try to tuck it in." And see how I feel about it. 80% of the time, tucking it makes me feel like, wow, it looks so much better. It looks so much polished, just thoughtful, and I look professional. And it's amazing how much of a difference just a simple tucking of the shirt can make.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny because actually there is in the program, I think that there's a video and like here's 12 different ways to tuck your shirt in because obviously I get a lot of pushback with the tucking.
Well,
You're not the first.
well, is that is like like I said, I don't know where the rebellion came in, but there was also the whole like I need to hide some things, and just the realization that wearing that tunic is not really hiding what you want it to hide. And that realization was like, oh wait, what? So you mean all this time was like making it worse?
Tell me what has happened when you've had to go into the office. You've had some meetings. Like, what has your wardrobe and having this skill, what has it done for you?
Yes. So um going back, like going into the office and then going to some meetings, and you helped me through like some pretty big like face-to-face meetings and things like that. I would say as compared to before, I went into them with this program, went into them with like hey, I'm going to wear this to support what I'm trying to accomplish. And so now my wardrobe is more like a tool. I feel like my clothes are more like armor. They help me get accomplished what I want to get done for that particular day, for that particular meeting. And that just wasn't the case before.
Mm.
And I mean, and I know it's working because I've had people say, not just at work, but also in my personal life, like, wow, you just really look nice today. My kids have been like, what did you do to your wardrobe? Like, what are you doing different? And with joggers in it, by the way, which we already discussed. So, but I mean, but I'm getting that positive feedback lets me know, like, oh, this really makes a difference.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
had the one comment stood out the most as I went to, we had a face-to-face meeting, and, I can remember exactly what I had on that day, and someone said to me, "LaShandra, you look so nice, very on brand." And I was just like, "Huh, okay. I'll take it. I'll take on brand."
Uh-huh. That means that you're building your authority. It really
Yeah.
does. That you're like developing this presence of someone to watch.
Yeah, it feels like it matches. Like, I finally feel like what I'm wearing every day matches who I'm becoming in my career,
Mm,
and that's, like, really liberating, and I feel so much better.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's more of the intentionality? Do you think it's the fact that you are thinking things through? Is it the fact that you're showing up unapologetically, or do you think it's something else?
I think it's a mixture of all of those things. I think it's the intentionality for sure. Like I said, I get dressed now with purpose in mind. Like, this is what I no different than if I was going to hammer a nail. I'm gonna grab a hammer and I'm gonna grab a nail. Like, that's what my wardrobe has become. It's become tools for what I need for the day. Um, but then also because I think because of that intentionality, I'm like owning it because yeah, I put on this shirt and this necklace for a reason today. And so I do walk with, I mean, I'm my presence has more confidence.
Hmm.
And I've that again, that's feedback that I was not just me feeling like, oh, I feel like I'm more confident. I've gotten feedback that you just seem more confident. And I know what it's because of. I know what it's due to.
That makes my heart sing so much. Because I know the work that you've done. It's not like you've said like, oh, let me just try a few things. Like the intentionality
Yeah.
is really really important, and really thinking about how you want to show up in each situation ensures that you're sitting in the driver's seat and not just winging it.
Yeah, and it feels that way too. I feel in control, which
Mm.
is great for somebody like me who likes to be in control. So I do, I feel in control, and that's like I said, it just makes a huge difference.
Okay, so let me call you out because you just mentioned something. You called yourself you like to be in control. And by the way, have you not realized that all of the other women in the call kind of we're all the same, all the same folks in there. I can only say it because I'm one myself. What would you say? Because I feel like a lot of the women that I work with that are very much type A, overachieving, they like all their ducks in the row. They're not going to do something unless they know that it's going to be perfect.
Mhm.
Therefore, a lot of us tend to overcomplicate things. So, can you kind of speak to how this program has helped you through that?
I would say, well, one, coming in, like, I knew that I needed to lean on you to be the expert, and so I was just kinda like there were times when things felt so uncomfortable. And I'm like, I just can't like, that's a pink blazer, Melanie. I can't wear a pink blazer. But then there was this other part of me was like, if you knew how to do this, then you wouldn't have contacted her in the first place. And so part of it was just like, okay, I'm just gonna step out and trust. Sometimes I had to do that in a safe space. So maybe when I was working from home, where if it got really uncomfortable, I can do a quick change. But it was partly just like trusting the process,
Mm-hmm.
trusting that if I knew how to do it, if I was great at this, then I probably wouldn't have contacted you in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And just being willing to not be in control for once, which again, very difficult, but I was just sold out to needing to do something different and knowing that I didn't have the answers and having to
Mm-hmm.
depend on you to kind of help guide me through that.
Mm-hmm. And do you feel like having the help of like the one simple step forward was beneficial as opposed to the drinking from the fire hose, which a lot of us will tend to do, like go and binge shop or like kind of try to like just throw some spaghetti and then "Well, this isn't working."
Yeah, no, definitely. So the let's try this, let's just try this first. That building of one thing at a time was very, very, very helpful because it didn't feel overwhelming. And then when it did feel overwhelming, it was small enough that it was just like, okay, well, it's just a jack. Like you can try that.
Hmm.
Um, so the one thing at a time definitely helped to be able to make things palatable, even
Hmm.
when they didn't really feel like that, they didn't feel as comfortable.
And one of the things that I think people don't realize is that clothes really are an extension of identity. Even though we are dressing ourselves, there's times when we could feel naked.
Yeah,
When we're trying these things that feel so foreign to us, when it's almost like shining a light. So, one of the things I think is super important is to figure out ways to make it safe.
yeah.
When the
It
black was sometimes the only thing that does feel safe.
right, right, and then black just so didn't feel like looking back, I'm like, "That's just so not me."
Mm, yeah.
Like, the black and the navy blue and the drab c is just so not me,
Yeah.
but that
Well,
will be my go-to.
and it's also what we were told looks professional and what
Yeah,
success looks like is like that a
yeah,
guy that's bald with a navy blue blazer. Like that's what success looks like. This is what we want. Here you go. Here's your gold medal. Like sort of thing. And so it's being able to make it your own and make it on your own terms. What would you say to someone who was on the fence about doing this work?
So I would say try it. If you're on the fence, then you obviously you've identified a need and just try. Just try it. Because you get through those first couple of sessions and once you'll start to have those really good feelings and then you're sold. So just give it a try. Put your toe in the water, give it a shot.
I love that. And make it safe. That's always the thing doing that. Um, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you feel like you want to share that would be beneficial?
Um No, I think we covered everything. Like I said, it's the big things is just try it and see where you end up and trust that it's good and trust the process. I think that's
Hmm.
the other thing. Trust the process because I think sometimes it was just like, look, you don't know, you can't see how I look. You can't see my body shape. Like it was some of that. Yeah, but trust the process.
Yeah. I all think that we all think we're that we are all such special unicorns, which we all are, but that's also what part of this process is to
Yeah.
kind of okay, yes, like we're all different heights, we're all different shapes, we're all different sizes, but let's all figure out like how do we make this work for us and not feel like it's working against us.
Yeah, I think, that was another thing for me, I didn't mention it before, it was just kinda like, "Okay, well, I'll be able to wear this when I lose that 5 pounds or when I get back to pre-mom belly," and that ship has sailed, so I just can't keep waiting. I just can't keep waiting for that to happen, like, it's okay to feel good about how I look now, even if I keep working towards those things.
Yeah, because here's the thing, you need to show up tomorrow. You can say, "Hey, work, I'm sorry. I'll show up like in the office in about 6 months when my pants fit and I feel good on them and I feel I can show up myself." So
Right.
it's but what I love is that now you have a methodology. So if the weight comes off, and that would be amazing and I'm sure it will, then you know exactly how to dress for then, but you also know how to dress for now and whenever anything else may come up.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so, so much. I truly appreciate it.